Do you dream in tweets?
Is that the question?
Yeah.
I love it.
What is the Black Lives Matter movement if you had to make an elevator pitch to an ignorant society?
Yeah, the movement began in Ferguson in August 2014. It's focused on ending police violence, state violence, and undoing the impact of the legacy of racism in this country. And what's beautiful about it is that it's led by people from all across the country, young people who've risen up and are working to end structural and institutional racism.
I saw you on Colbert, and you were talking to him about white privilege. How would you define it?
When I think about white privilege, it is an understanding that white is normative, white is the standard, and that confers with this so many benefits. That when you think about what does it mean to have a Band-Aid that's skin color, it's not my skin, it is someone else's. So when we talk about white privilege, we talk about these things that are unearned by individuals, but benefits that are conferred by society.
Do you think reverse racism is a thing?
No.
Tell me why.
That, racism is about power, and racism is about the exercise of power to disadvantage people because of race. And when we think about reverse racism, it is suggested that people of color, people without power, are disadvantaging white people, people with power, and that cannot happen. Racism itself at its core is about the use of power to oppress or to damage or a negative exercise of power, and people without power cannot be racist.
Some of the tactics that activists have taken up in the Black Lives Matter movement, like shutting down the Bay Bridge, for example, recently here in the Bay Area, have been criticized by a lot of people, have been seen as inconvenient by a lot of people. What's your response to that?
I think often that their convenience will return, that they will be able to drive across that bridge another day, that they will be able to go home quickly another day. And I think about Tamir Rice, who will never go home again. I think about Mike Brown, who will never go home again. I think about Aiyana Jones and Pearlie, and Trayvon, and so many other people who will never go home again. So that is what I think of.
It's an election season. When you look at the candidates right now, what are you thinking?
Yeah, so I'm not supporting anybody. When I think about Bernie Sanders, I think that his platform is broad, ranging, covers a host of issues. The question that remains with him is how does he plan to implement them, and what is he prioritizing? When we think about Hillary, she has gone deep on a few issues and has not covered a whole range of issues. She needs to have a more expansive platform if she is going to adequately address issues of criminal justice and race. Neither have addressed issues of the racial wealth gap, and they need to. So that is how I think of them. I think O'Malley needs to help us understand how his zero tolerance policing strategy as mayor of Baltimore reconciles with his now seemingly progressive platform at the presidential level.
It's because he watched The Wire, and then he thought back and he was like, oh,
that didn't work.